देवाय ॐ नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जायामुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भावाय ॐ नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवयां भगवत्य उत्तम श्लोके भक्ति भवति नैस्तिकी ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनेयशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं तथा स्वपदान्तिकं हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधकान्त नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी ऋषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरे प्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे। नमो विष्णु पादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादे पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण राम। Okay. Hare Krishna to all of you. I welcome you all for this morning short Bhagavadham class. So we are in the fifth canto, the creative impetus, and the last part of the 14th chapter. The another two slokas only are left out, 45 and 46. So what actually here we are hearing from Srila Sukadeva Goswami is about the that is the life of Bharat Maharaja, and whatever the austerities he has performed, how he was able to renounce his material possessions, and then he took the devotional service of the Supreme Lord in Vanaprastha, and due to compassion how he fell down, and even though he fell down, this particular sloka tells about in the deer form. So he was able to recollect how he has fallen down in his early life as Maharaj Bharat, and at the time of leaving the body as a deer, actually he's praying. So he always wants to remember the Supreme Lord by performing only the devotional service unto him. So that was this slokas that is in context actually. So like that, how actually even in the deer form he was able to recollect is that memory also is given by the Supreme Lord. Even in our, that is Bhagavad Gita 15.15 sloka also tells about the same. So the from Supreme Lord only we'll get the remembrance also and forgetfulness also. So here the remembrance was given by the Supreme Lord to King Bharata when he was in the deer, that when he took the deer form. So here the prayers in the form of when he was in the deer form, he is doing the prayers to the Supreme Lord, and he is glorifying the Supreme Lord. So wherein what and all he has performed, he was doing in the Vanaprastha stage, performing the sacrifices. So projecting as that is Supreme Lord in the that is Yagneshwara. So that is in the Yagneshwara form, he is present, performing the sacrifices, and he gives the results of the ritualistic activities. He didn't took the any that is the falsity of he didn't have the aim like a fruitive action. So he performed only with the devotion to the Supreme Lord, all the sacrifices, and he recollects the attributes or the characteristics of the Supreme Lord in this way, in the translation, whatever it has been mentioned. Okay, let us go into the sloka. So I would humbly request you all who are willing to recite the sloka, please raise your hands. Sureka Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandot Pranam.
Pranam Mataji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Yajnaya Dharmapate Vidhinai Punaya Yogaya Sankhya Shirase Prakrutishwaraya Narayanaya Haraye Nama Ityudaram हास्यं मृगत्वमपि यः समुदायहार. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Very wonderful recitation. Madhumai Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Yajnaya Dharma Pataye Vidhinai Punaya Yogaya Sankhya Shirase Prakrutishvaraya Narayanaya Haraye Nama Ityudaram Hasyan Mrugatvam Apiyaha Samudajahara. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Usha Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Pranams Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Yajnaya Dharma Pataye Vidhinai Punaya Yogaya Sankhya Sirase Prakritishvaraya Narayanaya Haraye Nama Iti Udaram Asyan Margatvam Apiya Samuda Jahara. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Chitra Mohini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Yajnaya Dharmapataye Vidhinai Punyaya Yogaya Sankhya Shirase Prakriti Ishvaraya Narayanaya Haraye Namma Ityudharam Asan Urgatvamapi Ya Samudhajara. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Vijay Kumari Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dhanavad Pranam.
Pranams
Om
Mataji.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Kanyana Dharmapadiye Vidhinai Punaya Yogaya Sankhya Sevase Prakrutishvaraya Narayanaya Hariye Namayidi Udaram Ashan Bharatvam Abhiyaha Samudajaraha. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Venkata Narasimha Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna Mataji. Yajnayata dharma pataye vidhinai punaya yogaya sankhya sarase prakriti swaraya narayanaya haraye nama ichudaram asyan mrugatvam api yaha samudajahara. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Prafulla Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी प्रणाम माताजी
Pranam.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय यज्ञाय धर्मपतये विधिने पुण्याय योगाय सांख्य शिरसे प्रकृति ईश्वराय नारायणाय हरये नम इति उद्धरम हास्य मृगत्वमपि समुदजुहार हरे कृष्ण माताजी थैंक यू माताजी
Yes, Anjali Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी
Hare Krishna.
यज्ञाय धर्मपतये विधि नैपुण्याय योगाय सांख्य शिरसे प्रकृतीश्वराय नारायणाय हरये नमः इति उदारं हास्यन् मृगत्वम् अपि यः समुदाजहार. हरे कृष्ण.
Madhumati Vilasini Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण माताजी दंडवत प्रणाम माताजी.
Pranam Mataji. Hare Krishna.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय यज्ञाय धर्मपतये विधि नैपुण्याय योगाय सांख्य शिरसे प्रकृतीश्वराय नारायणाय हरये नम इत्युदारं हास्यान मृगत्वमपि यः समुदाजहार. थैंक यू माताजी. हरे कृष्ण.
यज्ञाय धर्मपतये विधि नैपुणाय योगाय शांख्याय शिरसे प्रकृतीश्वराय नारायणाय हरये नम इति उदारम् आश्यन् मृगत्वम् अपि या समुदाजहार. Synonyms: Yajnaya, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who enjoys the results of all great sacrifices. Dharma Pataye, unto the master or propounder of religious principles. Vidhi Naipunaya, who gives the devotee the intelligence to follow the regulative principles expertly. Yogaya, the personification of mystic yoga. Sankhya Shirase, who taught the Sankhya philosophy or who actually gives knowledge of Sankhya to the people of the world. Prakriti Ishwaraya, the supreme controller of this cosmic manifestation. Narayanaya, the resting place of the innumerable living entities. Nara means the living entities and Ayana means the shelter. Haraya, unto the supreme personality of Godhead known as Hari. Nama, respectful obeisances. He iti, thus. Udharam, very loudly. Hashyam, smiling. Mrigatvam api, although in the body of a deer. Yahu, samudajahara, chanted. So here in the deer form, Maharaj Bharat is actually performing the prayers. He is chanting. So as per the below translation. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Even though in the body of a deer, Maharaj Bharat did not forget the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So as we have seen in the sloka, that is 15.15, wherein the Veda personified, also he is the Veda personified and he has only compiled the Vedas, and from him only we are having this forgetfulness and even the remembrance. Both comes from him only. So here, by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, the Maharaj Bharat in the deer form, he was able to recollect what and all he has performed in his previous birth as a king, and then in Vanaprastha stage, what he was performing and where he has missed. So by taking care of the deed, by being more compassionate to the deed, he was not able to perform the sacrifices which he was performing as he was doing earlier. So he was actually feeling that is what mistake he has done, he was realizing, and hence he is uttering the following prayer very loudly. So therefore he is giving, while giving up the body as a deed, he is uttering the below prayer. So here the glorification of Maharaj Bharat we are seeing by Srila Sukadeva Goswami, and one must strive actually to attain similarly. So by only practicing the devotional service, we will be able to achieve this. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is sacrifice personified. So personification of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, even in the sacrifice form, he is as a Yagneshwara. He gives the results of ritualistic activities. Whatever rituals we are performing, okay, the outcomes of the results of those things, he is actually blessing. He is giving us a blessing to the performer who is doing that activity. He is the protector of, even though the person who is performing such an activity may not be having an intention to for attaining those outcomes of whatever the actions he is performing there, but still the Supreme Lord actually he gives the results. So of that, those ritualistic activities. He is the protector of religious system. From him only all this religious system has arisen. So the personification of mystic yoga, the source, he is the person of the mystic yoga and the source of all knowledge. So as we know, Bhagwan, all six opulences, highest of all knowledge, highest of all renunciation, everything, he is the highest actually. And he is the supreme controller of this entire creation. From him only this creation has been made. And the super soul is every living entity. Like how from Karnodakashaya Vishnu, all these universes has been created from his the pores and through his the exhalation, and by after creation his own expansion into the Garbhodakasaya Vishnu, he enters into each universe, and from his navel sprouts the lotus stem, wherein the lotus stem has all the 14 lokas actually. So and on top of that there is a lotus flower on which the Brahma has been created, and from Brahma only Lord Shiva has been created. So everything is emanating from him only, and from Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. So one more expansion is the Kshirodakasaya Vishnu, wherein he enters into every living entity. So as a super soul, he resides always. He is beautiful. and attractive. So he's thinking all the that is characteristics of the Supreme Lord, and now he's telling that I am going to quit this body by offering obeisance unto him. So here we can see, is it possible for any one of us also to attain such a stage of recollecting? It's not possible actually. Only by practice, only by following the acharyas, the attentively and submissively and performing the devotional service in the righteous path. Maybe Manushyanam Sahasreshu, like that, 1,000 of us may be striving to become perfection in that. The person who has trying to know about the Supreme Lord, maybe in that also will be thousands, but hardly they will be able to know about the Supreme Lord, one of them. Okay, so in that I am quitting this body still here in the deer form by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Here Maharaj Bharat is able to recollect what about the position of the Supreme Lord and what mistake he has done, and then he doesn't want to repeat the same thing as it has been mentioned in 6.41. He doesn't want to come back again as he wants to take, even though in the deer form, he wants to take a human form so that he will be able to perform the devotional service to the Supreme Lord. That is the only prayer he is actually keeping here. So I am quitting this body, offering obeisance unto him and hoping that I may perpetually. So he is very clear in that, engage in his transcendental loving service. So here as per the sloka 6.41, Prapya Punya Kritam Lokan Usitva Shashvati Samaha Shushinam Srimatim Kehe, because they may come back again in a that is in a family of aristocratic family or a family of righteous, that is those who are in the pious family. So they may come back who are incomplete in the yogic practice. So Maharaj Bharat knows that he has not completed his devotional service part fully, and hence he has taken with the incomplete of that only he has become a deer by leaving the body as a Maharaj Bharat. He was thinking about who will take care of the deer, and he took the deer form, and he doesn't want to do the same mistake while he's leaving the deer form also. That's why the unsuccessful yogi, he being an unsuccessful yogi when he was as a king, Bharat, so has many years of enjoyment on the planets of the pious living entities. This is applicable for others actually, but here he is an unsuccessful. We are referring here only the part of the unsuccessful yogi, and he is born into the family of a righteous people or into the family of a rich aristocracy. So now he is going to take birth in the Suchi, Suchi family as Jada Bharata. So uttering this, Maharaj Bharat in the form of deer, that is in the body of the deer, he leaves the body. So this we will be able to achieve only by the practice, which is the toughest part. Practicing is the toughest part, whereas the bhakti process is easy, whereas without any discontinuation, always we should have this regular practice. So one is very good sadhaka, then they will be able to attain such type of situation while leaving the body. Perfect. The entire Vedas are meant for understanding karma, jnana and yoga. So Vedas generally we perform like for a fruitive activities, for a speculative knowledge, to attain some mystic yoga. So when you are performing in the karmic way, it will lead to the fruitive activity, and in jnana we'll be developing the knowledge. It may lead to a speculative knowledge, and yoga means we'll be attaining siddhis, mystic yogis, that is like anima, lahima, those powers and all will be achieving. So using the Vedas, the entire Vedas, we are not utilizing in the right way. Only we are utilizing to mitigate the materialistic benefits here. Whatever the way of spiritual realization we accept, the ultimate goal is Narayana. So whether you are taking karma, whether you are taking jnana, whether you are yoga, if it doesn't culminate in the bhakti, so in bhakti, that is a devotional service to the Supreme Lord Narayana, so we will not be able to complete that yogic practice. So the living entities are eternally connected with him via devotional service. That is the only process. We are permanently linked to the Supreme God. As stated in Srimad Bhagavadham also, Ante Narayana Smriti. We need to recollect, correct now? So by remembering Smriti, by remembering Ante, the last time, that is the end of the life, Narayana, the perfection of life is attained actually. Is to, and one, if he is able to remember Narayana at the time of death, that is called as the perfection of life. Although Bharat Maharaja, so why we need to remember? So this is a very nice phrase here our Acharya has given here. So here it's a strong communication, actually it's a direct communication, wherein if one is not able to remember Narayana at the time of death, means they have never attained the perfection in the life. Their perfection in the life is not completed. So they have to again come back here. Although Bharat Maharaja had to accept the body of the deer, because by the mercy of the Lord, even in the deer form, he was not mingling with the co-deers actually. He was only roaming near that ashrama, Pulahashrama, wherein the great sages have been performing the sacrifices and all. So he was actually uttering the names of Supreme Lord, and he was in the deep meditation, even though he was in the deer form. So he was able to recollect how actually that is because of purely the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Whatever austerities he has performed, it will never go waste. Even though one may be performing the sacrifices without any expectation, the outcomes of those sacrifices will be benefiting that one person only by the mercy of the Supreme Lord to reach, that is his lotus feet. So here Bharat Maharaja had to accept the body of the deer because he was thinking about the deer at the time of leaving the body, and hence he took the deer form. He could not remember Narayana at the time of death because he was thinking about the deer. So he didn't think about the Supreme Lord. Hence he took the form of deer. Consequently, he took birth as a perfect devotee in the next is while leaving the deer form, the deer body, he was thinking, he was uttering, I am quitting this body, offering obeisance unto you. Okay, and hoping that I may perpetually engage in the transcendental devotional, that is loving service, perpetually engage. I may, here is not high will, it is high will, it's not a strong thing, wherein, because it all depends upon the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Here we need to submissively ask, submissively request the Supreme Lord to show his mercy. So show his blessings to attain this transcendental, that is the bhava of a devotee, that should be the bhava. So here, so where one should fall, for example, pure devotee in a Brahmana family. He took birth as a Jada Bharata. So this confirms the statement, that is what we have seen in the sloka 6.41. So one who falls from the path of self-realization, that means they are not completed their practice. They are not attained the completion of the self-realization path. So that time, until it culminates in the bhakti, they will not be able to complete. So simply by karma, that is nishkam karma, simply by jnana, simply by yogic practice, without bhakti, one will not be able to attain the perfection of life. So he has to again come back. So to attain that, again he took a birth in the inner. Although Jada, that is Maharaj Bharat, was appeared in a royal family in his previous birth, he became neglectful. When he was in the Vanaprastha stage, he was performing the austerities, but because of the deed, he was neglectful. He was only worried about the deed. So because of that, he was born, he took birth in a Brahmana family because he did the austerities. Because of that austerities only, he was born in the Brahmana family, and he took that opportunity because of the Supreme Personality of God's mercy. So he was able to recollect what he did mistake in while he was in the body of Maharaj Bharat. So he doesn't want to repeat it actually. So he was very cautious in the deer body also. He didn't mingle, and he was performing the austerities in the deer body also. And he took He took birth in a Brahmana family as a Jadabharata. During this lifetime, he remained perfectly. So when he was in Jadabharata role, he was behaving like that deaf and dumb. He was not showcasing anything that he knows. So his father also was very much worried, as we have read through his in the previous chapters. His father was trying to instruct him about the Vedas, and he was informing that his other kids also to take care of this younger one. So we make him to recite the Vedas, all those things. But still, Jadabharata was behaving as if he doesn't know. He was not able to catch hold of that Vedic recitals and all. But he knows about everything. So he was only projecting like a madman. So he reminded perfectly. That means he doesn't want to get disturbed because of these activities. As he know, Vedas are meant for the fruitive actions. He doesn't want to get into that entanglement. So he remained perfectly Krishna consciousness and preached the gospel of Krishna consciousness directly to the king Raghugana, beginning with the instructions to Maharaj Raghugana. In this regard, the word Yogyaya means his significance. He was preaching, he was explaining as a yogi. The purpose of Ashtanga Yoga, as stated by Madhvacharya, is to link or connect with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That means he was always in connection. That is, he has established a permanent relationship, sambandha, with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is called as yoga. Yoga means the connect. So it is the link between the Jiva and the Paramatma. So that he has permanently made when he was in the deer body also, and then even in the, that is when he took birth in the Suchi family as Jadabharata. So the goal is not to display some material perfection. So here we no need to showcase outside. Actually, that is the thing that is the lesson also. One must try to learn how actually this great sage Jadabharata has practiced, and then having the permanent relationship with the Supreme Lord by performing the devotional service internally. When you are able to perform internally, it will be able to attain a perfection. Whatever austerities we perform externally also, it will have impact internally. Whereas only external performance will not give, because the mood of performing such type of activities is very, very important. How far we are inclined while performing these spiritual activities, it plays a major role for the internal purification. So the goal is not to display that means the external perfections. You no need to showcase like wearing a saffron dress, and then internally we are not at all renounced. So that is the Mityachara. So Parshendi and Mityachara we have studied in 6th chapter Bhagavad Gita. So one must strive like the great sage Jadabharata internally. And here is the glorification of the king, that is Bharata, in Jadabharata form. So with this today's sloka, this is a lesson learned how to practice bhakti, like how the king Bharata has performed when he took the role, that is when he came back here in the Brahmana family. So any doubts or any corrections, any insights, if you want to share, please come forward and you can speak out actually.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Mataji, when one thinks Narayana Smriti at the end, Ante Narayana Smriti, one will go to Vaikuntha.
Yes.
With the last moment, if
Yes.
one says, he will
Yes.
reach me.
Yes.
Here, as a dear Bharata Maharaj has said Narayana
Yes.
and passed off. But
Yes.
he has come to human form only.
No. Yes, what he has asked is he want to, what is that he is asking? I am quitting this body, offering obeisance and hoping that I may perpetually engage in his transcendental loving service. That means he wants to come back and perform the transcendental loving service. He is only praying like that. So in the deer form, okay, in the deer body, Maharaj Bharat, he was praying while leaving the deer body. So that means he knows that he has not completed the yogic things, whatever he has performed in the when he was in the Bharat body, that is King Maharaj Bharat body. So he knows that with the incomplete yogic practice, he will not be able to attain the Supreme Lord. So he didn't complete the sacrifices that time. So that's why he has taken the deer body. And in the deer body, and one more thing, we need to attain. See, in general, there may be some exception cases, like Gajendra in the animal form, he can reach the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. But in general, a living entity should be in the in the human form, wherein the perfection, and he will become a role model so that the others' upliftment also will be possible. That is the reason we'll come back here as a human. He wants to come back. That is how the prayers are there. So he wants to complete that. That's why he wants to be in that. You can see that last line of the prayer, what is reciting there. I'm putting this body, offering obeisance unto you, and hoping he's actually submitting his request actually there, and engage in his transcendental loving service. What type of body we'll be getting, it all depends on the mercy of the Supreme Lord. What he wants to say, whatever, for example, if you want to give some austerity want to give some donation or something, it is purely dependent on us only. What we want to give, whom we want to give, correct na? In a small materialistic thing only, we take the choices of giving the charity, correct na? In a small thing, I'm telling. So Supreme Lord being in that position, so he want to glorify. So if he has not taken the role as a Jadabharata in a Brahmin family, one thing is he was incomplete. He has to complete the yogic practice. That's the reference Srila Prabhupada is giving there. And then that Sushi Nam, and then what is that?
Srinam Srimatam Gehe.
Yeah.
Yoga
So
Prasthobija.
So it is very clear. He is also very clear. He has not completed his spiritual activities. He is incomplete and he has to come back. That he knows very well. So that's the reason he's praying. He wants to do that practice when he's coming back. That is the only thing he's doing. If you would have prayed in the deer form only, see, if you're taking an option like how you're asking, yes, like Gajendra has attained the lotus feet of Lord, like that, if he has asked the request, even I think the Supreme Personality of Godhead would have given, but the prayers are like this. So the prayers and the intention of prayers plays a major role. So which bhava we are doing the prayers, what is the purpose of our prayers are very, very important. If it is meant for performing the devotional service, so even the Supreme Lord is very, very, he also accepts actually, and then, and in turn, that is more benefit for that particular living entity one. Even though when we are performing all the austerities, when we are performing the devotional service, the Supreme Lord enjoys actually the senses of Supreme Lord. We are giving the enjoyment. Still, that outcomes and all is given to us only. So for our benefit only. He never takes anyone's sins, or I think very beginning classes of Bhagavad Gita, which I think maybe 3-4 years. The Lord never takes anyone's sins or any good, whatever the good deeds we are doing, but in turn, he will be able to, that is, he can clear the sins actually if he feels that. So the mercy of the Lord is his own thing actually. So we cannot, like how we have, these are all the qualities we are also acquired from the Supreme Lord. What we want to give to someone, we would have purchased some gift for some 10 devotees. Okay, then we are a group of 10 devotees, means we want to exchange of gifts. But for this particular devotee, we want to give this. Okay, we will have them. That reservation, like that, God also has the reservation, but based on our what way we have performed the devotional service. So the blessings accordingly will receive from. This thing is, we cannot ask God, you have to, what is that, this only you have to give, like that. Even though we ask also, he may give, but the entanglement will be there for us. So it is better to give the choice to the Supreme Lord, and what is good for us, He will certainly give. And one more thing, if you are very specific for particular thing and we are asking for that, it may be like, for example, the Supreme Lord wants to give us more, and we are very specific for the smaller thing. So obviously He wants to give us more, and we are very specific to this thing. So we are missing His more blessings only. So that's why you should never ask for anything, materialistic thing with the Supreme Lord. And one more thing, what is good for us, He knows. Like how mother knows, how the parent knows good thing for the kids, like that He knows what is good for us. So we should give that choice to the Supreme Lord, and then let Him make us to do whatever He's expecting from us. That is the right choice, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. Very well said, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Otherwise, I was lingering the doubt of why Rajamila simply accidentally says Narayana, he gets Vaikunta. Whereas Bharata Maharaj did so much penance at that life. And again, as the deer, he was near the temple always. And with Satsangi people. And he had to take. Whereas that became corollary for me. And you have clarified very nicely, Prabhu Mataji. Just because of we have to leave it to mercy of God. And Bharata Maharaj is more specific. He himself wants to do all the completeness, then only go back to Vaikuntha.
Yes.
He wanted to have the visa for going there rather than straight away being lifted there.
Yes.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. That's all. Srila Prabhupada's
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Yes. Prabhupada's writing only. Only thing we are just reading and then walking through. That's it. All glories to Him only. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Really, thank you. Like one thing is reminded that
Thank you,
like
Mataji.
pure devotees opt for not for liberation, not any kind of liberation, but for pure devotional service.
Very nice set.
Maharaj wants this, Mataji.
Yes. Correct.
We should always remember the Supreme Lord, so that we can remember Him at the time of our putting the body. Thank you, Mataji.
Very nice. Well said, Mataji. Yes, one more point also, Prabhuji, we can add. So a pure devotee will never strive for anything. Even if you are going to come back in this materialistic world, even though there will be a lot of suffering also, he will never consider that as a suffering. That is the Lord's mercy. So that is the highest level of perfection. Okay, La Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually, in Shishtastakam also the fourth stanza tells same thing, correct? Na? That is the mood or the intention of a pure devotee when he or she performing the devotional service. Thank you, Mataji, for referring that. Thank you very much. Very nice set. Thank you all for joining this wonderful morning session. Actually, I used to rejoice when Mataji was taking class. So I used to recollect the days that is in June 2022, that 6 months period. There was a strong association with Premakeshwari Mataji. So without her giving this gyan, and ultimately it is from the Guru Parambara's mercy. She is also delivering us. So I thank you one and all for joining this morning session. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.